Hi everyone, it's Fitz and Daphne licking her feet with the Power Talk. Hope you're doing well. We had a press conference today with Coach Chris Kleiman, Avery Johnson, and three other players. It felt like that lull after a big win. It felt like there was a sense of relief and accomplishment amongst the players and knowing that they've got more work to do. And boy, they better not lose sight of what's going on this weekend because you've got Oklahoma State waiting on the horizon, but the horizon can wait. BYU's up first, your first road game in the conference, your first conference game, and a challenging environment in which to play. You know what BYU doesn't do very often when playing a late night game at home? Lose. So be prepared, Kansas State. This one might look like you're going to Ames, Iowa, but they moved it to the mountains, put everyone in blue, and they give you ice cream. You got to understand that one. If you don't, it's kind of cool. They're going to feed me ice cream. They're going to give me ice cream as a visitor. I like that practice. I would like more people to do that. Ames, you might get a walking taco, and then you're like, I don't want to walk. Anyhow, K-State wins big over Arizona on Friday night. The players got Saturday off. Sunday they came in and did their regular kind of rehab, getting their bodies right, watching a little film, and they're back to the practice field today. And it's a big game. It is the first Big 12 game, despite beating Arizona. That one didn't count. And it's on the road in an environment that is foreign to K-State at altitude. And Chris Kleiman's talked about there are things they are doing to prepare their team for the high altitude, being coming out of the low altitude of Kansas. And it is a concern, but it's something they're going to do a lot this season. Because keep in mind, after they come off their break following the Oklahoma State game, they're going to go to Boulder and then Morgantown. Three games in the mountains this year. It's pretty interesting. But this is a sneaky game. Now, I get a little tired of the trap game thing. I've already picked my trap game of the year, and that's West Virginia because of where it falls in the schedule. Between that big game at Colorado, the revival of a rivalry of sorts, you go to West Virginia and you got KU waiting on the other side. That's kind of a trap game. And I don't want to say BYU is a trap game because K-State should see this coming. It is the first conference game. You can't get fooled by what you just did to Arizona. That was a non-conference game. It has no impact on the conference schedule. I still am unclear whether or not it'll serve as a tiebreaker, but nonetheless, you would win that and you have picked up an impressive win. What if Arizona's just not very good? Maybe we should stop and say that. In reading the Arizona boards, they're not sure they're any good. They sure are not very happy with their offensive coordinator and kind of head coach just 3 games in, but they have some talent. Now, I saw some real flaws in this team. That defensive line for Arizona, that is not a Big 12 defensive line. Guys, you can't wander around this league and not be physical. That's a lesson BYU learned last year. That's a lesson that they've talked about. They misjudged the physicality of the Big 12. And I think Arizona did too. I think these schools come into the conference and thinking they're big, bad bullies from another conference and the Big 12 stinks, and then they get their teeth knocked in. Well, BYU apparently decided to upgrade their physicality, get bigger and meaner, and they've done that, and they're going well this season. And are they a real contender in the Big 12? I'm not going to go there. I'm not seeing enough from them yet to tell me they can, go out and win on the road and win challenging games. But at home, at night, yeah, they almost will always win that game. And it's an incredible environment from everything I've heard. A beautiful setting, great fans. Did I mention the ice cream? They're going to give me ice cream. But this Kansas State team can't lose sight. It can't learn the hard lesson. Because the hard lesson of losing sight on the road in front of you because you're looking at the horizon is you may not get into the college football playoff unless you win the Big 12 championship. Because I fear that. I fear that even an 11-1 Kansas State team losing the Big 12 championship to be 11-2 may not get into the playoff because I think the books are cooked. I'm going to be tracking some voters in the AP poll, but it appears to me that SEC voters are diligently trying to grade down anyone who might steal an at-large bid from that conference and make it their own. So you'll find the Big 12 teams behind many other SEC teams. 6 team in the SEC, better than the Big 12. 7 teams, probably. Missouri barely beats Boston College, number 6. You know, it's that where this has gone awry. There used to be a day in college sports when you were honest. This team's better than that team. On the field, this team wins. And now there's even conference rivalries being carried over into the voting by AP voters. Well, BYU, this is a huge game for them. The Cougars need that signature win to kind of get the next step going. Are they the West Virginia this year, the team that was picked for last and all of a sudden rises up and plays pretty well? They might be. But to truly galvanize that, they need a scalp. And there's these Wildcats coming to town who will be ranked, 13th in the country? That's a pretty good scalp. At night in the mountains. It's a Big 12 game, and I expect Big 12 physicality. And we'll also be keeping an eye on that Oklahoma State-Utah game. Utah, I'm warning you, you're walking into a hornet's nest. But so is K-State. Welcome to the Big 12, boys. Let's get it going.